it wasn't something I focused on. I kind of thought the realistic version of the pop star dream was to do musical theater, which was an interesting take I had.
Musical theater as a fallback plan.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was doing, which is hilarious.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Artist Crush with Lee Harrison Daniel. That's me. And this is the podcast where I interview other emerging artists who I have an artist crush on. Today, I'm super excited to be joined by yet another resident artist at Brisk Kiss Theater, Caroline McQuaig. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm just really excited to talk to you and to be here. Thanks for asking me to do this.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be in this virtual space with you. This is our first episode that we're recording on Zoom. So exciting.
Amazing.
And we're recording on Zoom because when I met you, you were a New Yorker. You've relocated during the pandemic. That's actually one of the first things I wanted to talk about. Where are you?
So I'm in Nashville right now. I moved down here during the pandemic just so that I could have less roommates and a little more space and maybe a yard. And so that's been really great. Oh, my cat has joined us.
There's one of your roommates.
There's one of my roommates that I couldn't downsize, Oliver. And I would never want to downsize. But Ian, my fiance, and I decided to try Nashville just because I've been more focused on music lately. I studied musical theater in school, but then I started writing and putting out my own original music. And I was like, we'll jump into that for a little bit, try out Nashville. And it's been really fun. It's definitely a very different artistic scene, but it's cool to experience a new world like that.
Yeah. What's it been like adapting to a new city in these times and trying to kind of break into the artistic community down there?
I mean, when people ask me how long I've lived here, I still want to say 6 months. And it's been 2 years, a year. It's been a long time. Yeah. I actually literally don't know how long. When did I move here? In 2020? Yeah, in 2020.
Yeah, a year and a half, right?
Yeah. So anyway, it's been quite a long time. And it feels like I haven't really adapted to a new place at all because I haven't gone out or done much. But now I'm am starting to get out there a little more and meet people. And it is interesting, the diversity of industries people are in down here, because it really, I was like, oh no, every single person I'm going to meet is going to be a singer-songwriter. And that is true for the most part. But every singer-songwriter has 8 other jobs. So you really can make a network of friends pretty quickly, much like New York.
Yeah, well, I was going to introduce you as a singer-songwriter because that is sort of, from what I gather, your primary focus right now, but that really didn't feel all-encompassing enough because you're such a multi-hyphenate.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see, just in the past 2 years, you've put out an EP, become a social media coach, model, web series star, dare I say influencer.
Oh my goodness, I wish you would. Yeah. No, I really just love having projects, so I will always try to make sure I have 18 projects happening at once. But yeah, I actually, living in Nashville is also the first time I've been kind of getting more modeling work. And that's been interesting down here. And actually tomorrow, I mean, not when you're listening to this, sweet listener, but when we're recording this tomorrow, I will have my first ever super legit modeling shoot that is for a real corporation and not just a small business or something.
That's awesome. Is that something that you were always interested in, or that you kind of discovered with moving down there?
I have modeled before for like a lot of different small businesses and just like friends that are photographers and things like that. Um, but moving down here, I have a friend that lives here as well who is a model. And she has been saying, like, you really could book maybe. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should try. But it's one of those industries where it feels presumptuous to try and enter it, to be like, yes, hello, I'd like to be a model now. feels
Yeah.
feels weird. So I had been hesitant, but now more opportunities have just kind of come my way. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe I do know how to do my face good for photo.
Yes, that's awesome. And I feel like almost any, I mean, maybe any career path, but like almost anything in the arts kind of feels that way of like,
Totally.
I studied playwriting for 4 years and I still feel weird like being like, I'm a playwright. Like that is what I do. I never know whether to introduce myself as like a playwright or as like a host at a vegan restaurant, because that is my real job right now.
It's like, what's your job versus your like profession?
Yeah, my passion. The dream.
Your calling.
I know. You went to school for musical theater. Was the idea always, I'm gonna sing and act and like do all these other many different things of like social media and modeling and etc., or have these all come about?
A lot of them have just like popped up as opportunities have popped up. But I will say, when I was like a kid and people asked what I wanted to be, I often had like 4 things at once that I wanted to be. There was never like one thing. There was always like the constant one was either like actor or like pop star. And then and here we are. But in addition to those things, it was always like lawyer, figure skater, FBI agent. Like those were all very clearly influenced by movies like Ice Princess, Legally Blonde, and Miss Congeniality. But whatever movie I saw, I wanted that job. So I think I've kind of always been bound to do lots of different things.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that helps like with being a writer of any kind, playwright, songwriter, like having those life experiences and not having all of your time just devoted to creating.
Yeah. And I feel much more free creatively when I'm doing like lots of different things. So like, and then that also just kind of gives me room, since a lot of these different pursuits are creative, to like express myself in a different way if one of my normal ways of expression isn't really working. Like if I'm having like a thing, like a concept or a feeling or an idea that I want to create something around, but like it's not coming out in a song, maybe I can like paint the painting that is that. So it's nice just to have different avenues to express different things.
Yeah. Do you find that your process often involves like kind of working across multiple formats or mediums to get to?
Yeah, I think I often, I mean, it's like when you make a Pinterest board for like a play you're writing or like a playlist for it. I totally do that sort of thing. And like we'll doodle around ideas and write around ideas that are maybe visual, or, I totally let all those different things inform whatever it is that I'm working on.
Yeah. I think it's very cool too how I've seen a lot of posts from you about like, I'm writing a song, fill it, like, give me ideas, or like tell me about something that's happened to you. Like I love that it's sort of like a community thing for you too as well.
Totally. Yeah, and that's kind of why I started a concert series in college called Siren Songs. And that's kind of why I did that, is I just love the community part of creativity and the industry as well. I think the community is like the best part of it. So
yeah,
might as well foster it.
Half of my favorite musicians I feel like I discovered through sort of your network.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy.
We were just talking about Sarah Schwab before we before we started this interview. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
If you're listening, Sophia DeLeo. Oh my God. Actually, tell me a little bit about the mission behind Siren Songs and how that came about, because I don't think I've ever heard the story. Yeah.
Okay. The conception of Siren Songs started on a dark day mid Kavanaugh hearings. And that was kind of the inciting incident where that was swirling around in the news, and like Me Too was swirling around in the news, and it felt like you couldn't look at anything or think about anything without like sexual assault being at the forefront of everything that was happening. And that's like a really important mission for me, is supporting survivors of sexual assault. And I was walking through Columbus Circle listening to No Forgiveness by Sophia DeLeo from her first EP that is no longer
it's
on
been
the
wiped
internet.
From the internet. You can't find it. It makes me so sad.
But I think you might be able to buy it on Bandcamp.
Oh,
I'm not
really?
sure. Yeah, but either way, support Sophia on Bandcamp and everywhere else. But
stream Maggie Rogers.
Definitely. But yeah, I was listening to her music and walking through Columbus Circle, just like feeling really defeated about the state of the world and really angry at the world, and not really knowing how to process my anger or how to like take all the negative feelings that were happening and make something productive and positive with them. But listening to Sophie's music, I was like, well, maybe there's like a charity or something that we could support that would, you know, help us feel like we were doing something, and we could do a concert. Maybe Sophie will help me do a concert. And then I kind of started looking wider into my circle of people that I knew, and realized I knew a lot of really talented songwriters, and particularly women. And that's kind of where it started. And so, yeah, the beginning of Siren Songs was to lift up women, especially women in music, to help out survivors of sexual assault through End the Backlog, which is the charity that we decided on. And it's kind of grown into a community of songwriters, not just women, mostly just non-men. It's our new moniker. And yeah, it's been a really incredible thing to watch grow, because through our audience that has kept coming back, like you, Lee, like it's been so amazing, your support for us. It's just such a fun community, and it seems like everybody's a huge fan of each other. And yeah.
And that was that around the time that you really started, performing your own songs as well? Or was that
totally? Yeah, that was another thing. Because coming into college, I had written a couple of songs with a friend in high school. Throwback to my wanting to be a pop star as a child. But it wasn't something I focused on. I kind of thought the realistic version of the pop star dream was to do musical theater. Which was an interesting take I had.
Musical theater as a fallback plan.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was doing, which is hilarious and just such an unhinged way of thinking. But yeah, so I didn't really realize that was something I wanted to pursue seriously until senior year of college, when all of this was happening in the world. And then also I wasn't booking any summer stock gigs, and it was senior year of college, and all of our musical theater professors were like, okay, make sure you have your like gigs that you're doing this summer planned out so that you can tell the agents and stuff at Showcase what you're doing and where they can see you. And I was like, oh, I don't have anything. What do I do if I don't have anything? And so I decided that I might as well have some kind of performance for somebody to see me if I wasn't going to get booked on anything. So I was like, all right, I think I can probably whip out some of those songs I wrote in high school and do a couple of songs this show. And my ulterior motive with having other singer-songwriters was, and maybe I'll learn something about songwriting through it and be able to write more. And I totally did. I totally learned everything that I know about songwriting from doing Siren Songs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the EP, your EP and Underground Summer was the year after that?
Yeah. Well, Siren Songs started in December of 2018, and then my EP came out in 2020.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So like 2 years.
Gotcha. And now you have a new song about to come out by the time this episode is out, April 11th. This episode.
When is this episode coming? Oh, April 11th. Okay, well, by the time this episode is out, you will be able to pre-save my song, Main Character.
Excited.
I'm so excited too. The song is going to come out on April 25th. Please stay tuned for an event in New York City around the release. But yeah, I'm really excited to put this one out. It's going to be a really fun one.
I'm really excited because I've been hearing this song since like the summer or the fall.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite. And I've been asking you for the recording often.
I'm so excited that I finally have one to give you soon.
Yeah. What's the production process been like?
It has been actually quite a long production process for this one. I first went into the studio with this at like the beginning, over 6 months ago. And so the producer that I was working with on this one, his name's Wilson Harwood from Elevated Music here in Nashville. And he is so incredible. And I really developed the song in the studio with him. I came in with kind of some thoughts, kind of a draft. I talked to him about the mood that I wanted for it. But my goal with the song was to write a song in studio with the producer because I'd never done that. And it's scary, especially as like an independent artist doing it and funding it on your own. It's always going to be around $1,000 to get into a studio with a producer and get a song made. So to walk into that studio without a song written and like half that money down is a little scary, but it's a really good motivator for writing a song. So it was incredible to get to develop the story of it along with the production. We kind of got the song put together and then took a few months off working on it. And in those few months, I performed in New York quite a bit. And my band up there that's made up of Quentin Ellis, Jason Leibson, Brooke Trum, and Jeffrey Penton Jr. and Ian Morrell, depending on the day. They really helped me figure out like those missing pieces in it to then come back to the recording session and be like, okay, this is what we need to really fill this out and make it feel complete. So yeah, I feel like this song had so many collaborators. I mean, we talked about Sophia DeLeo before, and I remember texting her when I was in the studio one day being like, this chorus should be really fun and it's not. Why isn't it fun? She was like, oh, it's because of this, and fixed it. And I was like, oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. And then the bridge was just like a kind of a pit of nothingness and I didn't know what to do with it. And then Quentin Ellis, my band leader, was like, oh, it should be this whoa thing. And I was like, you're so right. That makes it a song. So it's been a really fun song to work on because of all of our collaborators. And it started, like you said, with an Instagram poll of like, yeah. So even from the beginning, it was a very collaborative song.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to hear it.
Thank you.
Caroline, I could talk to you for hours, but we are almost out of time here. But before we go, I do have one final question for you.
Okay.
Who is your current artist crush?
Ooh, my current artist crush. Oh gosh, there's so many. I mean, you can just go on my Spotify and look at my Siren Songs playlist for all my artist crushes, because all of the Siren Songs folks are. But I will say maybe whose music is ringing in my head the most lately is Melissa Rose Hirsch, Marymount alum as well, with some fantastic music out. And I've also taken a couple of voice lessons with her. And she's just been really opening me up creatively and vocally lately, and been super crushing on her music.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, everyone go stream her music. Go stream Caroline's music. Caroline, where can we find you on the interwebs?
You can find me all over. You can find me on Instagram at Caroline McQuaig. Same on TikTok. Yeah, I'm mostly on Instagram. Find me there.
We'll see you over there.
Thanks.
Thank you, Caroline, so much for being here. It was amazing to talk to you. That's our episode, and we'll see you next time.